Next up, Richard Sherman criticized the NFL yesterday over the league's injury report system. He has been on the Seahawks injury report every week so far this season, but has never missed a game in his career. Let's take a listen to Sherman.
From what I understand, the rule is for the gamblers, for Vegas, to make sure that the odds and everything are what they're supposed to be, which is apparently what the league is concerned about when talking about injuries and things like that. So maybe somebody should look into that, because I thought we weren't a gambling league and we were against all those things, but our injury report is specifically to make sure the gamblers get their odds right. I think somebody said we were heavy favorites last week, so I'm sure people were disappointed with that.
Shannon, what's your take?
I agree with Richard Sherman. This is not about no fairness to the other team. This is not about no general public. This is for gamblers. Fantasy football is a big issue. I just don't get why I need to tell the opposing team what's hurt, what's injured, where of my body is injured. Hell, if that's the case, why not just send them, we're working on some new plays, and this is what we're going to run inside the 20, or this is what we're going to do if we backed up. Why not just send them the game plan? Hell, because they're talking about, well, somebody might say, Skip, if somebody wants to rig a game, if somebody wants to fix a game, they're going to fix the game regardless. But the money is so great now. It's not like it was back in the 50s and 60s where things were being seedy and shady. It's not like guys are making $25, $30 million a year. So why would you ever risk that and your name for to help some guy in a back alley, because he's betting on a game? This makes no sense to me. I like to do like hockey, say upper body. Let you pick. Because guess what, Skip? If you tell me, I'm going to tell you. When I looked at that injury report and I saw, oh, he got a knee or he got an ankle. Okay. What you think I'm going to do, Skip? Tell me what you think I would do, knowing me the way you know me over the last year and a half.
If I look inside you,
yeah,
you ain't playing.
No, I'm not injured. I'm not injured.
Oh.
The other guy's injured.
Okay.
And I know he got a hurt knee or hurt ankle.
Okay.
I got to put my shoulder pad or something on it, Skip.
Okay, I got you.
I mean, I just need your shoulder hurt? I just want to just make sure everything. I ain't a doctor, but I'm playing one. I did stay at a Holiday Inn last night, so I need to jerk on your shoulder, make sure it's in place, everything's intact.
I got it.
Why would you tell that, Skip? Why? Now, if I could deduct, because we, as athletes, as players, you try to gain as much information as you possibly can. That's why they ask these quarterbacks to watch all this film. That's why I watch so much film, because I'm trying to, on this down and distance, this is how you gonna play me? Okay, in this formation, is this how you're going to play me? I'm trying to gather as much information as I possibly can. Well, if you're just going to go ahead and give me that information and you're going to tell me what's going on, well, hell, that makes my job that much easier. I've never understood why must I tell the opposing team if one of my players are injured. That's why coaches, we're not telling you who's starting. You prepare for both of them and you'll see once we get out there who's going to play. But I don't like this. I've never liked this. I agree with Richard Sherman. There are people that benefit more than the other teams, and that's what seems the NFL is cared about. I'm not talking about no odds makers, but I'm talking about the gamblers. I'm talking about the people that bet on the fantasy football. Fantasy football is huge. Yeah, they got rotisserie leagues. Yeah, they got fantasy and basketball, but ain't nothing like the NFL. Nothing is wagered like the NFL. Nothing is bet like the Super Bowl. So let's not kid ourselves about what's going on here. It always has, it always will be about money. So we need to stop this where we're trying to make sure everything, no team gains a competitive advantage. Well, if you tell me one of their players is hurt, you give him, okay, well, I'm going to see how hurt he is, because I'm going to try to put my shoulder pad on his knee, on his ankle, and I'm going to try to jerk on his shoulder, see if make sure if it's intact, because I don't know if they don't know what they're talking about.
Once again, you have missed the point and completely missed the boat, as did Richard Sherman. A smart guy who went to Stanford, but once again, Richard did not do his homework before he blurted out a very controversial opinion. The point is, and always has been, dating back to the first time I started covering this league in the mid-1970s, this rule was in place for one reason and one reason only. And the NFL issued a statement in response to Richard Sherman's blast yesterday. And I'll just read one little part of it. Without such a policy, a decades-old policy, you could envision a potential scenario in which a teammate or team personnel could be approached by a third party to sell inside information about a player's undisclosed injury that could sideline or inhibit his performance. This was a rule made. It's the best rule the NFL ever made to protect the sport from getting bought off by inside information from gamblers, because they would pay millions. If somebody had a source inside a team and you didn't ever disclose injuries, and you knew that in your heyday that John Elway wasn't going to be able to go for that Cowboy game when they visited in late 1992, their breakthrough year.
Well, I did.
Okay.
I said that and got the Broncos fined $50,000.
You said it?
I knew because he wasn't on the injury report. And
really?
We knew he wasn't going to play.
Ah.
I didn't know you couldn't say that. They got
All
the
right.
Broncos.
So
And
the
so
point
Mike,
is,
it's like in future,
if there was a mole inside your locker room, it could be an equipment man, it could be a trainer, it could be just about anybody, or it could just be like a third string player, a special teams player. And a gambler knew that he could get to that, let's say that third string player, and pay him, I don't know, a couple of million for that kind of information. And you knew to bet against the Broncos because Tommy Maddox was going to start at quarterback against the up-and-coming Dallas Cowboys, who were about to win that game and march right on to win their first breakthrough Super Bowl under Jimmy and Jerry. Then you could go bet $5 million against the Broncos because you would have the ultimate inside information. So if you force everybody to disclose, which they don't always do, obviously, Richard Sherman went all last year and they did not disclose that he had a pretty serious knee issue.
can I ask you a question, Skip? What's to stop them from doing it now?
Because they disclose. I mean, it renders the information valueless because everybody has it.
What if that said guys are like, okay, yeah, he's on the injury report, but that's not the major injury. There's an
Okay,
offensive
well,
line.
then you're going to get busted if that gets out there. You're going to lose a draft pick.
Skip.
That's how serious.
All
this is.
I'm saying is this.
Well, at least there's a rule to defeat it, to protect against that. That's what it is. It's not aiding the gambling industry. As Richard said, it's trying to impede it.
Skip. There are rules, there are laws in place, and people break the rules and laws every single day. If people want to do something bad enough, if somebody wants to sell information, they're going to sell it because it's called supply and
Okay, but
demand.
you've rendered it valueless if you just disclose all the injuries as everybody is supposed to do. We know the Patriots don't, but most of the time when there's a serious injury, it gets reported early in the week.
You know why? Because if everybody was on the up and up, we wouldn't need a Jay Glazer. We wouldn't need an Adam Schefter. The NFL is leaking information just like coaches and the admin leak administration. It's going to get out.
Okay, but it's a great rule. You know it, and
No, I don't.
Yes, it is.
No, I don't.
It's
Don't
the best rule they
don't
ever
tell
put
what's
in.
going. Don't tell what's
God
going on.
knows how much scandal it saved. Because the one thing you don't want to get caught doing is selling inside information to a gambler. That's when you lose all credibility as a sports league.
I understand that though, Skip. But how do you say you about to move a team to Las Vegas? And you worried about credibility in sports league? You're about to move an NFL franchise that you fought so hard, and so long to keep out of.
Well, you better double down on that rule then. You better make it the penalty much more severe for disclosing inside information.
Skip, you need to stop. You and I both know what's going on here. It's been going on. They can dress it up and talk about, third party. Skip, if I want to sell something, I can sell it regardless. Because as a player, I know what was going on. I knew who was going to play.
Yeah, but nobody's going to pay millions of dollars for information that's going to come out on a report in a day.
But what about the ones that don't come out?
Well,
like I knew John.
Well, that's breaking the
rule.
rule.
They don't need to do that either because we have Jay Glazer and Adam Schefter.
Exactly. So my thing,
they're not paying Jay Glazer and Adam Schefter.
The networks are. But here's the thing, Skip. I knew John wasn't going to play. He wasn't on the injury report. So if I wanted to, guess what?
Should have cost you a draft pick.
It cost us $50,000, Skip.
Okay. Well,
there's no perfect system, but we all know that gambling is a big part of sports and particularly the NFL.
They don't need to live.
But there's no perfect system, though.
By the way,
you have to. Sometimes you have to weigh evils and pick the lesser of an evil.
Prior to they started doing this in the 1970s, what happened? How much scandal? Now, Alex Karras and Paul Hornung were suspended for a year, but they were betting at the casino. They were betting at the casino or whatever that was. But how many? We didn't have no Black Sox scandal. We didn't have no Tulane basketball.
The level of gambling and the situation that the NFL is in now to then. You just can't.
And then, by the way,
you can gamble from anywhere in the world as long as you have your
yes,
phone.
one last bit of hypocrisy from Richard Sherman was that one of the reporters in the session told him that fantasy football also likely plays a role in this, and he enthusiastically agreed and said, fantasy football, oh my God, they are almost as bad as the gamblers. But for what it's worth, Sherman promotes and is a partner with the fantasy football site called Draft. Okay, so he's sold out to what he
Well, I mean,
ridicules.
hey, y'all making money. I might as well make money too.
Okay, got it.
There's enough money to go around for everybody. I don't like it. Don't tell them I'm injured, Skip, because they're going to be gunning for my ankle.
Well,
Hey, Sharp, how the ankle today?
that's going to be
What ankle?
part of the game. Better that than the other way.
No.
Yeah.